Thank you, Michael. Welcome, everyone. Reviewing the Louisiana Tech game, I was really pleased overall with really every part of our game and the way we played. Really, offensively, I thought our young running backs were all really good. Every one of them 100% assignment correct. They protected the quarterback when they had to. They knew where they were going in routes. They caught the ball exceptionally well. And then, of course, ran the ball in a very physical way, made some great cuts, and, took care of the football is another big issue. And they were all great that way. Some other bright young spots, I thought offensively, K.J. Young, also young receiver, came up with some big plays. Excited to see some of the deep balls to Sterling Shepard. And I thought the offensive line really blocked well. Darrell Williams was cited as having the best game up there. And other guys, players of the game with Darrell, it's Keith Ford, really did well with a couple of great cuts. Defensively, our players of the game were our number one defensive unit. They together were really good. Bunch of 3-and-outs, got great pressure to the quarterback, eliminated the run game. Really had no mental problems. All of them together were really sharp. And so pleased with that group. The young safeties that came in all were really good. Ahmad Thomas, Stephen Parker, Atari Bird all played really well. Julian was really solid at corner in a couple of those new spots. Caleb Gastelum stepped up in a great way in backing up Jordan Evans after his targeting foul. And then Dominic Alexander was really strong in there again. So really pleased there. Kicking game was great. We had a couple of nice punt returns, had a long kickoff return, Alex Ross. Sterling with the punt returns. Michael Honeycutt was perfect on the day. Jed averaged over 40 yards, didn't have many opportunities punting the ball, but got a couple of kickoff covers inside the 20 and inside the 25. So that was all really positive. But, after the first game as a coaches, there's a lot of things we got to continue to get better at and believe we will. Hopefully this week that'll be our main concentration going to play Tulsa this week. Coach Blankenship and his staff do an outstanding job. I'm a big fan of Bill's and all that he does and the way he conducts his program and the way they play. They always play. They're very sound, disciplined in how they play. So going there this week, our main focus is not just on Tulsa, but on us trying to improve in every part of the game that we're able to. And, their big difference with Tulsa this year, Evans, their quarterback, really had a great game the other night, making some great throws and a lot of big plays in the passing game. And he really, I thought he really performed well, and it's exciting to see them win in overtime like that. So congrats to Coach Blankenship and their staff. That's a good start to the season. So anyway, we'll be focused on getting better in our areas here this week, getting ready for Tulsa.
Do you have a healthy backup quarterback?
We're supposed to this week, so we'll see. But we've got other healthy ones. I mean, Blake Bell is healthy and can always go.
Is he taking reps in practice?
Yeah, he took some last week and was well, and still throwing the ball great. Kids were teasing him that he still got it. So, but we're the projection is that Cody will be ready to go this week.
Well, Mike said in the postgame he didn't think Jordan would have to sit out anymore. Evans, is that
yes?
Right?
Yeah, if it was the second half, if that happened in the second half, he would have to sit the first half of the coming game.
Get any feedback?
I haven't yet. I've got a request into the office, the officials' office, and I'm sure by this afternoon sometime I'll have some kind of clarification on it and even explanation. I want to know what I can tell the player. It's a pretty tight situation. So but Walt Anderson and all our crew at the Big 12, they do a great job. So he'll have a good explanation one way or the other, and we just want to learn from it.
Bob, big
Feeling
debate on
differently?
radio about what you would do if, Al's wrong on this issue, by the way, what you would do if Cody
You mean
came
you
in-
guys are debating?
Yeah, we
You got
are.
me in the middle of your debate.
Al takes a position that if Cody Thomas didn't play really well, that Blake Bell is all of a sudden back in, if you get hurt, if Trevor's hurt, for an extended period of time.
Yeah, well,
Blake Bell
I
immediately
can't
is
play
back
the
in.
what if game, I don't want to get in the middle of you two's argument. I'm sure that's too entertaining for everybody. So,
Casatati was out, yet your offensive line still looked like it had a really good sequence in there. You feel like they played pretty well, even though one of your starters didn't play?
yeah, they did. They played really well. I thought Ty, directing traffic up there, did an excellent job. Our protection was great. Run blocking, we had bodies on bodies, and it can still improve, and that's exciting to see. I know we can improve from it, but they did a really good job. Yeah.
What about you wide receivers?
I thought they were good. I thought all those guys really played well. Sterling, I already talked about. KJ, Duran's had a great summer, and really, I believe as we go forward, Duran's going to make a lot of good plays for us, and all the younger guys are getting better.
On Jordan Phillips, kind of his first action back, how do you hold up?
He played great. He had a great game up there. He's in the backfield a bunch, disruptive, and felt great after the game. So he feels a lot better than he did a year ago at this time, so that's all positive.
Bob, I know you don't want to line up your players and have them go full speed on kickoffs and practice, but how difficult is it to evaluate, what players will be really good kickoff returners for you?
Well, there's a little bit of, it's tough in some ways because you aren't, full go, but we do quite a few drills in our camp, summer camp leading up to the season of full speed, going down and getting to a certain spot, getting to a bag. And much like a running back, receiver, some guys have a better shake to them and feel for it than others. And we try and weed those guys out. Some guys a little bit, whether it be stiff in the hips or don't change direction, make someone miss them enough, it's harder for them. And we try and keep those guys off of some of those cover teams, or in particular kickoff cover. So it's the shifty guys that can make somebody miss them and not latch onto them and have the speed to get down there.
Was there something in particular you saw in Alex that made you believe?
Yeah, all those running backs can make people miss them pretty. They've got speed, they've got power, they make people miss them, and they're tough. And so Alex, and we'll be smart on how much he gets of it. But Alex is one of our better special team guys, and but again, we'll be aware of that and how many snaps he's getting, and in some games may have to pull him on some cases. And Coach Boulware does a great job of monitoring that through the game and having quality backups in those spots that you feel good even if you have to pull them off of it.
Bob, Meade made your rotation at receiver. Could you talk about him a little bit?
Who?
Jeffrey Meade.
Yeah.
The true freshman. And
Yeah, the more
made that team.
closer we got to game week, the more Jeffrey just shows up. It's size, but he has great hands, and he's smooth for his size, and the quarterbacks like him so much because of the target that he is, and so we just felt through this whole year. I mean, he's a guy that's going to keep getting better and better, and will make a difference for us.
How does playing in Tulsa benefit your program?
Well, I think, I don't know about benefiting a program as much as it's great for the state, for our people, for Tulsa, hopefully, and you have a game that's close, so travel expenses for both teams whenever they're playing, it just works. And again, I think it's great for fans in this area, and again, I think they're two programs. I know we're always rooting for them whenever I know I do whenever they're playing somebody else and want to see them do well. So anyway, I think there's a lot of respect that goes both ways with these two teams.
Bob, it appeared that Blake more than held his own physically with regard to his blocking responsibilities and tight end.
Yeah, and not to be surprised about it. I've been watching him go against some good jack backers and out DNs all summer, and they get theirs, he gets his, and that's going to happen. When you get a really good, someone else lined up really good, it's hard to be 100%, but he does his job. He does it well.
Is that the part of his transition that you needed to sort of see when you originally discussed? You figured you might understand routes as a quarterback, but it was maybe the physical aspect that.
I didn't have any doubt that it's, are you tough enough to want to do it? That's all. And I knew that. I knew he had the toughness. So now it just comes down to, does he have the ability? He's got the size and ability to do it. So I didn't have a concern about it, and saw it in the spring, saw it all summer. I don't need to see it in the game to prove it to me. I've seen it going against good people every day.
Did you like what you saw from Grissom and Stryker in their roles?
I loved what they were doing. They were both, again, disruptive, active. Played well. Gino had a lot of really good plays. So did Eric. And Eric got, even though he didn't get credited with the sack, he's the one that caused 3 of them, or chased them into people's arms. And so he was, disruptive like he always is.
With those 2 moves, you have guys in different positions. Is this sort of the vision that you had when you went to this defense last year? Is this sort of what you wanted to get to eventually?
Well, yes, but a year ago it wasn't. It's just different pieces. A lot of it was still the same scheme-wise. It's just different people. We've another year into it. We have groomed it to fit again where we feel the players being active and what they can do. We're putting them in the best spot to do it. We feel, and that may be tinkered with as we go through the year. But that's what I meant by we're so much further ahead, and that's why there's. I think with the first group there weren't any mental mistakes. We have more that we can do with it, and they understand it. And the players understand going against different offensive plays where they need to be in them, and it's just smoother that way.
Having Gino on the very first series swat that pass down, I mean, that sort of a sign that's working out really well.
He's a big presence. He's hard to get the ball over out there, and I saw through camp in a lot of instances he really defends out there. He covers a lot of ground and can jump. He got great arm length. He's not easy to get the ball over. Definitely.
Bob, I don't know if you heard, but Ash is out with a concussion at Texas, and I just wondered if you guys had.
I didn't hear that. So
yeah, Charlie Strong announced it just a little bit ago. Has concussions, your protocol, has it changed any in the last couple of years?
I don't know. How much it's changed. I really I think everybody is much more as advanced in it as we're able to be, in that they have tests that the players are giving ahead of the season and how they're answering questions and how the brain's operating, and then they can go back and answer those questions after an episode and to try and see how long it takes a player to react or to to get answers. So I know they're doing all they can. I know our people, I'm sure they are at Texas and everywhere else, with our medical teams are really, I think, are all special around the country in what the resources and the medical teams that we have. I know our people work hard at it. So probably everybody is more diligent about, I think, taking more time, with people getting back and, doing all the testing that they're able to do to determine how safe it is for a guy to go back.
Are you doing some kind of special program where those guys were wearing the red hats preseason?
That's something that's been around a little while. It's just some people who are in the job requirement run into people more often. Sometimes the tight ends, the H-backs, full-backs, it's just a little more padding on top of their head. And I know South Carolina has used them in the past, and I know talking to Coach Spurrier, he thought it helped. So our people have known about them, and we just wanted to try them. And it seems to be working pretty well, just trying to eliminate the day-to-day, bumps, that you just get during practice.
How did Julian look at cornerback?
Julian looked really good at cornerback. Again, where he needed to be, and I've been more than pleased with that through the whole summer.
How did your young defensive backs play?
They played good. I talked about the safeties already. I was really pleased with what they did. Pardon me? Jordan Thomas did well. He had a few tackles and his first taste of it out there. But we've loved what he's done, again, going against our guys all summer. He'll only get better from it. He's a guy that got size. He's got great speed. He got track speed. And he's a good player.
Devontae Bond played a little bit, and so did Obo. What do you have in those 2 guys as pass rushers?
They're similar to Eric in pass rushing. They've got a great knack for it. Obo almost got a sack or was right on the quarterback one time, and But they're and Devontae got great power, great ability to rush. Devontae just missed a couple of weeks with just a little banged up, so he was just a little bit behind. But he'll be the longer he's out there, he'll continue to get in there and believe he can make a difference.
Was your confusion over the targeting on Jordan the other night, just in terms of the quarterback changing direction at the last second? Is that what?
Well, yeah,
is that
my
where your
confusion,
question is?
the only reason I was at all confused, I'm not questioning the call. It's more that he had become a runner, and I didn't believe he was down yet. I didn't believe he was falling backwards, and I didn't believe his knee had hit the ground yet. And if a guy just ducks late, he's changed the target, I guess is what I'm saying, is all of a sudden he makes a move to change where he's at, change position, then what is the defender to do? And that's kind of what I want to be able to teach. What are the fact that he had already been out of the pocket running with the football, he's a runner now, and didn't believe, again, my angle, I didn't believe he was sliding backwards. He was falling away from it at all. So that's why I was wondering.
Bob, the Big 12 hasn't gotten much respect coming into the season. What are your thoughts about Oklahoma State playing so well against Florida State and West Virginia with Alabama?
Well, that should be obvious to everybody, that the strength of the league and the depth of the league. Both those teams coming into the year, we know they're much better than what people maybe had thought of them or ranked them. And so these scores and the way they played did not surprise me at all. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to go anywhere and go bet on them. So I would have liked to have. Again, those guys are excellent coaches, and they've got good players. Both those teams. I'm talking, I guess, West Virginia and Oklahoma State, and the way they played did not surprise me at all.
For the top 10 teams, such as Florida State, Alabama, were not able to pull away. And I know what you're saying about the quality of the opponent, but why do you think you guys were able to start so fast?
Well, we didn't play Alabama or Florida State. Well, there you go. Okay, that's it's a simple answer. Oh, that has something to do with it.
But you guys,
No offense against Louisiana Tech. They do a great job, and Coach Holtz and his staff only been there going on their second year, so they'll continue to get better. But you can't. The opponent always has something to do with it.
At the same time, though, you've talked several times about your execution and.
Well, I was just pleased at the things we can control, regardless of who you play. We didn't have procedure and line of scrimmage penalties, either side of the ball. We didn't have foolish penalties. We didn't fumble the football. We didn't have mental mistakes on defense where you give up. Now a couple of the 2s and 3s, and we intermixed some guys could have done some things better, but they'll learn from it. So I just thought we played really clean. Didn't have busted assignments, missed blocks on offense. Again, so it was, that part of it was really good.
Does that stem back from the offseason?
I think, again, it's only one game, but our guys have been very diligent about their responsibilities, and that's the kind of personality they've had, to do things right.
You looked at South Carolina, what A&M did, what West Virginia against Alabama. It appears the SEC teams are having problems with the spread offenses.
Well, again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about that. You guys are more than capable of doing that without me. I cause enough waves. So this isn't the out of season where I cause waves. It's the season.
Fourth down conversions, you went for it several times the other night, successful. What you thinking there? Is this team was that situational, or is this team something about this team gives you reason?
It was mostly situational and confidence in what we were doing. Most all of them were in an area that you would go for it. I apologized to Honeycutt on one of them. I go, I should have kicked that one, Mike, just to get you a long 51-yard field goal. I did. I went, Mike, I said, I apologize. I should have got you one just for early in the year, get a good long one in. And then I thought DeMarco Murray texted me the day before the game, and he said, Coach, don't be kicking too many field goals this year. You got to keep my record intact. And then he did go on to say, no, they're meant to be broken. I hope Michael breaks it to tell him good luck. But obviously that didn't go into my thinking. But I should have probably kicked one of them long just to give him the work. but I did have confidence in how we were blocking, the strength of our running backs and what we were doing, that we would, that the percentages were good, we'd pick them up, and the field position was right.
Your running backs weren't just running backs. You threw it to them down the field. It was Alex Ross' return game. Just talk about how the kind of versatility gives you in your offense and different things you can do.
Yeah, these guys all have great hands. They all catch the ball like receivers, and that was evident in watching them out there. And some of them were out there on their fingertips where, you could see where a running back might drop it. But they got great hands, and so we want to get them the ball like that out in space at different times. And as you could see, when they get it out there, they're effective, they're strong running with it.
Trevor said he only slid once in high school. Is it hard to get a quarterback conditioned to kind of protect himself more when he's used to looking for extra yards?
Yes, but it's something that he knows that needs to happen. We don't want him to be getting banged around, and get out of bounds, get down when you can, and to avoid those. So and I thought he did a really good job of it.
As strong as you guys were, basically across the board, was the D-line and the front seven, would you say that was like the highlight, the best area, the way you all dominated that line of scrimmage?
Well, it was one of them. I mean, they were really good. Technique, assignments, all of that, and then the pressure. When we got them in those situations.
Bob, how much does it mean to the team to have a quarterback that is such a high character kid?
It's great. Trevor's a fabulous leader in every way as a young man, and the guys can't help but respect it. And he works so hard. He's in our conditioning and weight room. He's there with the running backs and everybody now. He keep up with all of them. So the guys see that. So it's a positive. In the way he conducts himself for sure. And all those guys are that way. It's fun to watch. Even a year ago, when we've had the competitions, to watch Blake and he respect each other, support one another, and be for the team. Whoever has to do it is ready to do it. And even all these quarterbacks now in the room are that way.
What'd you like? You mentioned the safeties played well, Tari Burrs and guys like that. What did they do that you really liked? That's part of the new part of your team.
No, they didn't have didn't have mental mistakes. They were in position to tackle people where they needed to be. They made some open field tackles. So again, there's that position has more to think about than some others, and they handled it really well and where they needed to be and understanding the defense.
Bob, you said you might have an answer for us on the status of Cortez Johnson come Monday.
Well, we'll see. He didn't like his position on the depth chart last week, but so he was checking into what he wanted to do. So he'll have to find out by today, or then I'll make a decision.
Coach, can you talk about Lucas and Garrett, in particular, the receivers for Tulsa, and what they bring to the table?
Yeah, they're good size on one of the guys, Garrett. Good strong body, big presence, and great quickness. With the other guy, Lucas, and you could see they try and get him the ball even in the backfield, tossing it to him or however they do it. They really quick, you could tell they're trying to get him a lot of touches. So really good players.
Coach Blankenship is really pleased with his safeties. Thinks they're, as a duo, a couple of the best in the country. Do they jump off the page with you?
They do. They're really good players. Productive, you could tell. Good tacklers, good covering. They're really good.
There's been more neutral site games than ever, I guess, and they're all high-profile games with the start of the season. What's your philosophy on those, playing those?
Yeah, I don't. We only have 6 games. That'd be all. 6 games here as it is. I'd hate, for the community, for everyone here, the great stadium we play in. I'm not real anxious to take one away from here. For the community, and what it brings to all the. The local stores and vendors and restaurants, on and on and on, hotels, and again, what it does on our campus. So I don't see us taking one of ours away. Now, if we're going to play in the future wants to give up one of theirs and play somewhere neutral, I'd be more apt for that, for sure.
That 09 BYU game fits that description, right? It was supposed to be a home game for you guys, or could have been, or.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, that didn't work out real well.
Did the fact that that was a neutral site game, I mean, I guess the same thing could have happened out here, right?
Sure, it could have, but again, you know, the percentages and when we play here and percentages when you don't are pretty different, especially here for us.
Calvin Thibodeau was on the Tulsa staff. Just your memories of Calvin when he played.
Calvin, love him. Calvin Thibodeau is a great young man, was a very productive, excellent player for us. He's the kind of guy you wish you had 100 of them. You know, always got a smile on his face, always positive, always worked hard. And I'm sure he's that way as a coach. You know, he's doing a great job there watching their guys play. They play hard, play with great technique. So he's a young guy, and he'll have a big career in coaching, I'm sure.
Can you identify early in at some point in their playing career, a guy who's going to go on and be a coach or a Division I coach or anything like that?
Oh, you possibly can. Guys that, you know, that understand the game, you know, usually guys that you don't have to tell them more than once, and they have a good understanding of why they need to do something, and, you know, that they grasp the concepts really well, and they have personality, you know.
Did he strike you as a guy who's going to be a Division I coach?
Yeah, I always knew Calvin had that kind of makeup to be.
Talked about the Big 12, the way they played this weekend. There's some debate, I think we had last week, about how strong your non-conference schedule is. It seems like that got a bit of a boost this weekend too.
Listen, Tennessee absolutely and Tulsa are good football teams, and so, you know, I see the personnel they have, and you know, and here they are a second year into, you know, I know if you're talking about Tennessee in particular with, you know, with Coach Jones and another year in their system, you could tell they're further along in what they're doing, and they looked really good.
Bob, how much easier is it to keep your quarterback healthy when you have several guys with the versatility that your running backs have?
Say that again?
How much easier is it to keep your quarterback healthy when you have several running backs that have the versatility that you have right now with your running backs?
Well, I don't know what that has to do with keeping the quarterback healthy, but we do have confidence handing them the ball, you know.
You can also throw quick screens to them if they're good at blocking. If they're the whole package, it seems like you wouldn't have to throw the ball exclusively as much.
Yeah, you know, I guess I get what you're saying. Yeah, you know, we do like getting the ball out quick to the backs, and it's like a long handoff. But you know, we're still going to throw it our share of times, like everyone does, and so anyway, again, I'm not sure how to answer that, to be honest.
Bob, anything you do? Trevor had 3 or 4 deflections. He addressed it a little bit. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, he just in a couple of those instances needs to find a better window. You know, it's that simple. You know, and you know, find a better window to get the ball distributed where it needs to be.
It seemed like you were pretty vanilla play-wise, Colin, were you?
Yeah, to a degree, a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Coach, each of your backs had the same number of touches and combined catches and runs. The top 3 guys each have 13. Is that something that you'd like to continue going forward in terms of that balance?
It just depends on the day. It really does. It's too early to determine that. You know, if somebody gets hot, you'll have more, you know, opportunities. All right, thank you.